Y'all better tighten up.
What's up, guys? John here. Titan Lifestyle with Big Drew.
Titan Lifestyle Friday once again. The week flew by, and it's getting crazier and crazier. And we got some great topics, controversial topics, but it's all good. It's all good.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of things going out there, a lot of information out there, a lot of misinformation out there.
Yeah, a lot of misinformation.
You know, so who do you listen to? What do? You have to be as credible as possible. So we tried to research a lot of these topics for you guys, so we guys can give you guys some of the facts or some of our opinions about what's going on today. So let's talk about therapy of the week first off. CJC.
CJT.
$12.95 with Ipamorelin. So a lot of people ask us questions about peptides. We have an array of peptides as therapies for patients out there. But CJC $12.95 and Ipamorelin, this one's a pretty popular one. And let me tell you why. So this one has a predecessor, and the predecessor was Ipamorelin. Ipamorelin was the natural thing to try to replace growth hormone by stimulating your own natural growth hormone levels with your pituitary. So this one was good back in the day until this CJC $12.95 came along. It's a GHRH, a growth hormone releasing hormone. So at that point, what it does is it's going to stimulate your natural pituitary to stimulate growth hormone levels. So it goes down to the liver, it produces IGF-1 levels, and gives you all the benefits of what growth hormone would, right? So when we get older, our growth hormone levels start declining. So you see a lot of commercials about over-the-counter supplements out there that are trying to sell you growth hormone or IGF-1. Well, you can't get this without a prescription. So anything you're buying over-the-counter, I would definitely watch out. Red flags. Yeah. It's usually an amino acid blend that they put together, and there are some amino acids that will help stimulate IGF-1 and growth hormone levels too. So
yeah, it's kind of like the Tribulus thing, where people see that you could take Tribulus to boost your test levels, but obviously test-cypionate prescribed by your doctors and do a lot better. Kind of the same situation with the CJC. Yep. So the stuff you see in the stores, guys, in the magazines, that has a big, huge guy that says release 10 times growth factor. It's not going to do it the way CJC is. I was one of those guys approached by those companies to say that I took that product, and I wouldn't do it because I don't take it. So you're not gonna get huge taking a little capsule you see in a magazine.
Oh no, for sure. You know, so that's why things are prescribed, because they're more powerful. They are what they say they are. So I mean, at that point, you have that, and you know that. So CJC $12.95 works great, and works great with synergistically with Ipamorelin. So Ipamorelin was it had a predecessor, GHRP2 and GHRP6, growth hormone releasing peptides, by stimulating the pulse of your pituitary even more to produce more growth hormone. So they work actually together on the posterior and anterior of the pituitary together, and at that point giving you a better overall effect. So these two are mixed together. They're lyophilized. That means they're in a powdered substance in the bottle, and they'll be diluted when you get the medication. And obviously, we walk you through the steps of what to do, how much to take, and all that. So if you guys have questions about that, 727-389-3220. The benefits of these therapies are better sleep patterns, better aging, like an anti-aging type deal, as far as skin, libido, hair, recovery. Lean muscle mass, weight loss. So I mean, it aids in a lot of different things in the body. So this is something that you guys might want to look into and see what it can do for you guys. And like I said, just call or text the number, and we'll be able to help you guys out. So that's a great peptide.
Yeah, it's a great peptide, guys. And what I was stressing about the recovery. Yeah. Peptides is not something that's going to get you alien, freakish, huge. No. But the recovery on it and the lean muscle tissue, I mean, it's second to none. So definitely, if you guys train hard like I do every day, like I do, don't like to take time off like I do, even though I should. Yeah, that stuff helps a lot. With your joints, connective tissue, ligaments, if that stuff's aching, it'll correct the problem rather than just numb it. So check it out, guys. Yeah. It works real good.
It definitely works good.
No pain.
I'll probably be using it very shortly here. I found out yesterday, I didn't even tell you guys, I got a tear in my rotator cuff, for sure. MRI confirmed yesterday. And a lot of other different things, bone spurs in there and stuff like that, they're going to have to shave down.
Thrown?
Bone spurs.
No, but is it from thrown?
I have not.
Because I know me, if I throw a football or a baseball without warming up now, I don't know if I'm getting old or what, but it's like everything hurts. If I take a baseball and throw it right now, everything hurts.
It's always hurt. It's always hurt, like hurt, range of motion has been kind of on the decline and limited.
Yeah.
So I mean, at that point, I'm still like working through it, but it's I confirmed it yesterday. It's crazy. So the doctor's like, orthopedics like, yeah, this is probably after this Corona thing's done. Yeah, you might want to get this done. I'm like, oh,
and a little bit of TB 500. Yeah, speed up the process.
I'm gonna get BBC 157, TB 500, CJC 1295, and probably some IGF-1 that we have prescribed through as well. So I'm gonna throw everything we got at it. So at that point, it should be good. All right, so let's talk about COVID-19. Basically, this thing, CDC is saying, doctors can, if they think it's in their right mind or right regimen, that they can write in the death certificate that they died of COVID-19.
Yeah.
Everybody.
To me, that sounds like an oxymoron, because I don't think a doctor could be in their right mind just to write down a death if they're not 100% certain that's what it is. Yeah. You guys see the numbers are skyrocketing with the deaths. I keep saying, like, I'm not going to live my life in fear. Mm-hmm. I do realize there's a virus. I do realize it can be, harmful or even deadly to certain people, but Absolutely. I'm not concerned about it. The CDC basically said, and all the doctors and people in the hospital even saying, yes, this is what's happening. They're doing press conferences. They're even admitting, saying, yes, what's happening. So basically, if I go to the hospital and I have a heart attack. If I have a heart attack and I die, they're basically going to say I died from coronavirus.
They have the option.
Yeah, they have the option to say that. So pretty much every single person that goes to the hospital, if they die, if they want to, they could say it's because of the coronavirus. Yeah. So if you guys hear, coronavirus is, it's killing people, this and that, I'm not really huge on it. I mean, it has affected some people. The people that have passed, I feel bad. I feel bad for the families if you guys have had people like that. Absolutely. But I don't believe that all these deaths are from coronavirus. These are people that are going to pretty much die anyways, that had serious illnesses anyways. Yeah. And they also said the other day, there was a huge thing on the news about 400 people died in New York City from coronavirus in one day. It was like this big, huge thing. So I did a little bit of research, and if you look at 400 people die in New York City every day anyways. Whether it was 1970, 80, 90, just because the city is so big, there's so many people. Absolutely. So if there's 400 people that die in New York, if they want to, they could just say it's coronavirus and get everybody amped up. I believe they're trying to put us in fear. I don't know what the reason is, but I'm not scared of it. And CDC, I mean, I think it's some bullshit that you guys can literally, anyone who passes away, you could say coronavirus to put that fear in everybody. Because some people are paranoid. Yeah. Like some people are literally paranoid to touch stuff. I mean, pretty soon they're going to say you can get it through texting or something crazy. It's getting out of control. It's
been nuts, and obviously, the CDC is supposed to be our guidance, right? Yeah. So they're supposed to be our overlooking power and tell us the right thing to do. And they've been wrong about a couple things, lately, especially the face masks and all that. Now, maybe they were just trying to preserve all the face masks they possibly could for medical professionals and hoarding and stuff like that, which is fine. But at least be honest with us if that's what you guys were going to do. Yeah. So, it doesn't look like you guys are, basically don't know what you're talking about, or the credibility factor definitely gets lost. The trust gets lost with a lot of people out there. A lot of people are coming up with different theories about what's going on out there. Really, nobody knows. I
would be nervous, honestly, to go to a hospital right now. Luckily, I have medical providers here at Titan Medical and stuff like that. They can check certain things. But I'd be nervous to go to a hospital. I don't know what it is. Something doesn't feel right. Yeah. They're pushing this vaccination thing and pushing how many bodies when there's not this really many bodies. If you go to hospitals, a lot of the hospitals are empty. Not empty meaning they're shut down, but they're not overcrowded, and there's not people piling on top of people. I posted a few videos about where they're going around. It was saying, basically go to your hospital and see what it's really about. And people around the country are basically filming their hospitals, showing that it's not as hectic as what they say it is. Yep. It's pretty much just like a regular day at the hospital. Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, if 10 people die in a certain hospital on a regular day, and then they say these 10 people, they had corona. Oh my God, I'm scared now.
Yeah. So, Eli, if you had a labrum repair and you're still lingering with irritation, best peptides for that are BPC 157, TB 500, maybe with some IGF-1. But those BPC 157, TB 500, more natural to the body as far as that goes, and should help with that definitely with the irritation. Make sure you're following up with your MRI and stuff like that. Make sure everything is good there and you have an exact look at what's going on. So if you have any more questions about it, please call or text 727-389-3220 after this live. The girls and staff will be happy to help you out, okay? JC Garcia. So listen, the point he was trying to make is a lot of people have been dying from a lot of different things through these years. So what we're saying is this. is that if the CDC is going to classify a heart attack or a common flu and dedicate that to coronavirus to try to scare the population or lift the numbers, that's definitely something that's messed up, okay? Bunny, yeah, it's definitely unconstitutional what's going on to a degree. I mean, listen, we want to stop the spread of the coronavirus. I understand that. You know, mitigation is in full effect, lockdowns in full effect, and we're trying to be as safe as possible. And this has never happened in the United States history of nobody being able to work like this in mitigation. So they were even scared about being able to do this because lifestyle change for people is not easy. And what they've done is something that's definitely crazy. And we're going to see if it's worth it. And obviously, if people are dying, it's worth it. But, you know, compared to what each year. And we're getting at that point, too. A lot of people are ready to get out. Who knows how many people have already had this virus? You know, until we do testing, which they are ramping up and they need to get it out to as many people as possible right now, we'll figure out what really truth it is. Now, they don't even know if you can recatch this. So at this point, like, you build up immunities, they don't know for how long you have immunities. Weeks, months, years. So they have no clue. So at that point, like I said, everybody's in the dark about what's going on, except for the really, really high ups, and they're not telling us what's going on. I truly believe that. I mean, they're probably not because they don't want to put everybody in a panic because they probably don't know all the way through. You know, the vaccinations are coming. We'll see about that. You know, there was information about vaccines being done in Africa right now, right?
Yeah, I don't know why they would go there because if you look, like, Africa is one of the few continents or countries that has been least affected by it.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at all the charts and stuff they put on where they have the hot areas, Africa's pretty much open.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they would go there to randomly push it right after, and then now they're saying that, you know, it's black people are more, I don't know, susceptible or whatever.
This is a fact. So
it's
more black
coincidence.
people have died out of the population in the percentage than anybody in the country. So at that point, in any race, whites, Hispanics, Asians, they actually have the percentages. And the reason was that they attributed to was because that black people are more in the forefront, the bus drivers, or they're doing some of this work that they're more essential in some of these jobs, and that's why they're catching it. Now, we know, like in China, that, you know, these things like SARS and stuff like that spread through the pipes and buildings, and they reinfected people that were like 10 floors up, and that's a fact. Right. So this could be affecting people the exact same way if you're keeping them in the house.
Yeah,
and
but
the cruise ships and everything else.
I don't believe it.
I don't know. I have no idea. But
I mean, if they're going to say that it's affecting black people because they're touching a lot of things, this and that, I don't think that's what it is. I think just like the CDC says, they could pretty much label everything as coronavirus. So if they say, okay, say 30 people died today from coronavirus and they were all black, but if those 30 black people already had high blood pressure, diabetes, poor life choices, their whole family has been eating, you know, shitty food for 40 years, and they're all out of shape, and they're all overweight, then yeah, the thing is once the CDC gave a green light to say you could call everything coronavirus, they basically could put it to wherever they want to put it. Hey, if they want to put it on black people, they can put it on black people. If they want to put it on anybody, they can put it on
Do you got
anybody.
The diabetes chart?
Yes, I do.
All right, so I just talked about this. This is crazy we bring this up. So underlying conditions. So one we talked about was diabetes, and that's pretty prominent. And that's not just prominent in black people, but it's prominent in the United States altogether. We're on a rise, you know, in obesity.
Right,
and they go hand in hand,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because usually obese people have diabetes. So
let me pull it up for
we
you.
looked at this chart, and this chart has the exact percentage of how many people. It was 34.2 million people have diabetes or pre-diabetic.
Let me slow it up for you.
Yes, please. Let's look at this bad boy together.
And it's on the screen for them to look at as well.
Thank you. All right, so we're looking at the top left corner. 34.2 million people have diabetes, right? That's 1 out of 10 people, okay? 1 out of 5 don't know they have diabetes.
Right.
So this is getting really crazy. So 1 out of 5, that's a pretty big number. 88 million people, adults, are pre-diabetic. So that's crazy, right? Risk of earlier death for adults with diabetes is 60% higher than adults without diabetes. So no matter if you have coronavirus or not, you're 60% more at higher risk of dying earlier than somebody that doesn't have diabetes.
Right.
You know, so at that
point, it goes
point,
hand in hand with the obesity, with the diabetes thing. You guys, if you guys notice, you don't really see too many people that are obese that's 80 years old.
Yeah. Oh no.
Or even 70 or 75. When's the last time? And I don't mean just a little overweight. I mean, if you, when's the last time you guys saw like a 200 and 230, 40-pound woman that's 80. They don't make it that far.
I know.
So diabetes, and all that goes right along.
Cardiovascular health,
Yeah.
I mean, this all coincides. So 8 out of 10 adults don't know they have or they're pre-diabetic. So at that point, man, 8 out of 10, that's 80% of people. 80%, think about that. That's 20% that are not pre-diabetic, so they're good to go.
Yeah.
So that's an abundance of our population. So everybody has these pre-existing conditions, possibly, or 80% does, if they're pre-diabetic, or they're on the borderline of getting diabetes or diabetes type 2.
Yeah, so all those people could be labeled as having coronavirus.
Dying from coronavirus. But let's talk about the flu and everything else that's going on, because we're not hearing about the flu. So, this is flu season, right? So we automatically expect we're going to have some deaths in flu, right? So it's just it's a wicked web, I guess, we're weaving out there, and nobody really knows the facts. So it's kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So we hope you guys are staying safe out there, and you guys are washing your hands and doing all that good stuff. All right, so all the people are going to the grocery store, right? And then think about this, and they say this thing is spreading. And it's spreading. And the reason is because essential people are going to the grocery store, and they're going in there, and a lot of people still aren't wearing masks. Okay, they don't have gloves. They're using gloves improperly, but everybody from that area, no matter if you have coronavirus or not, they're supposed to stay self-isolated, but they don't know if they're asymptomatic or a carrier and going in there and possibly spreading this. And so, I mean, it's really crazy for that. So. We're showing some pictures of some nut stuff that we're looking at right here, of just like Walmarts and Publixes and stuff like that, where all these people are just, they're obviously not in a 6-foot rule. Who knows how many of these people are sick or asymptomatic? They don't even know they're sick.
And they're touching. I mean, you guys think about it. Every single object on that shelf has been touched with hands, not a machine.
What up, Scotty? How you guys doing?
Like, not a machine. Every single box, can, label on those shelves has been touched by hands. Like, I used to stock shelves when I was younger. Like, literally every piece is being touched.
It's nuts.
So, I mean,
it's nuts, man. So,
and they put the 6-foot line at the register only, but then you could be in the aisle touching everything.
I know.
I think if they really want to make it, they should make it, like, even though it would be crazy, like, make a certain amount of people. Like, they'll give you a limit to the amount of people you can have a gym or a business, but there's no limit to the grocery store.
Right.
It's almost backwards.
Actually, New Jersey just put in place, and that guy's one of the hardest in the country. That they're even grocery stores are gonna have to be watching that it's only 50% occupancy of the grocery store at one time.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So that's what's going to happen. So it's going to be harder for people to get groceries, which could create another panic in one way or another, because they're limiting people on some of the supplies they can get, which is a good thing, because people will hoard it and people will get a whole bunch of it that might not need it, already stocked up on it. So that's crazy too.
Because I mean, people are going to have to. You got to. At some point, you have to go out. You have to live your life. You have to do what you have to do. I mean, I'm not going to say... I respect the guidelines. I don't walk around people. I give people their 6 feet. So before, when I was saying the whole thing about the CDC and this and that, no, I'm still clean. I'm still making sure everything is good. I'm not just going to, just be free like it was before, where I didn't care. Because there are older people that can be affected by it. So even though I'm not worried about myself, I still got to be worried about touching other people. But it's getting crazy that it's like... I mean, what's the world going to be like in 10, 20 years? I mean,
10, 20 years, when we get out of this, I mean, how do you think things are going to be?
No, but I mean, it's going to be bad, but I mean, it's going to be like drastic. I mean, it's going to be bad, and
I'm scared.
Pretty much they said, like, in I don't know.
You think people are going to sit at football games next to each other?
What?
When this gets over with, you think people will?
Yes.
I think so.
I think they will, because...
I think it's going to be split.
I think they will, because just like the swine flu and all the other stuff, which was like, I mean, that wasn't... Nothing has been as bad as this.
This is what we have to remember about this situation in particular, and this is why we're going to always remember about this situation, because it's never happened before.
Yeah.
They've never turned off the economy ever. I'm not talking about disease or anything like that. Yeah. Even when the Spanish flu was going on, they never shut down businesses. Yeah. The economy never shut down worldwide. I'm not even talking about in one. I mean, Spanish flu went all over the world too, but it never shut down things like it did now. Now that's to say now, our doctors know more. We understand how to prevent this or how to slow the curve down or whatever it is. But at that point, listen, man, I mean, herd immunity has to be there to some extent for a virus, because it's not a bacterial infection. This is a virus.
I think that...
The vaccine or herd immunity. It's one or the other.
But I think the damage it's going to do is going to be a lot worse than the actual.
It's done.
Like in the future, I mean, it's done now, but it's getting to a point now where what's going to be like every week is going to people's tolerance is going to be less and less.
Oh, for sure.
To the point you already have people
Unrest.
protesting. I think it was in Ohio or something like that.
Really?
Ohio was something. A whole bunch of people with signs were outside protesting, saying whatever. I don't know if Art you could look it up, but
unrest.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, now it's still kind of fresh, even though it's been a long time, a month or so, whatever. But what's going to happen at next month?
I don't know, man.
With unemployment, what's going to happen when people's lights do start getting cut off? Like right now, it's like certain people are like, okay, they look at the account. Oh, I don't know if I could do it. This and that. What's going to happen when now you have no food? Now you have no lights, you have no resources, no help. Then it's going to be like, look, I don't care, and it's going to be crime's going to go up. It's already going to be going up.
Yeah,
people are going to look at.
It's already on the rise.
Yeah, people are going to be like, okay, this guy has a house full of food and this and that, and I'm over here struggling.
Right.
It's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be for every man for himself at that point.
Yeah,
people are going to be like that.
There we go, coronavirus protesters.
Yeah, so I mean, it's already done a massive damage to our economy. The economists already say that we're in a recession as far as the U.S. stands. We're going to print a lot of money. And I understand people think about that money, but once you print all that money, there's only so much you can print, guys, because basic economics states that
Bill Gates is trying to get rid of that too.
I mean, it's
Bill Gates trying to get rid of the money. He's trying to get rid of money.
Listen,
you heard about that?
I haven't heard about it.
He's trying to get rid of money, so basically you are the money. Like once you get
digital, man.
Yeah,
digital
ID
money.
2020 or whatever they're talking about.
So the microchip. So everybody's getting microchip. I mean, listen, for right now, in other countries, they instituted where they were tracking people's cell phones, and they could track 6-foot rule. So if you were close to people in 6-foot rule, they were tracking people that were already positive for COVID-19, making sure nobody came in contact with them, and they were assessing fines to people.
TikTok.
No, it wasn't through
TikTok just got that huge thing. You heard about that, right?
No, I have not.
Oh, this guy's been in
TikTok. I've been worried about
TikTok just announced a huge announcement saying that
they got hacked.
No, anyone who has TikTok, China has all their information, and they can use not just like Facebook, other places.
Yeah.
They just had it all over the news. Military people are banned from TikTok. If you're in the military, you can't have TikTok. Wow. It's like a huge thing where anybody who has TikTok, I guess like because I don't know what it is, but I guess like they basically use your information over there for something.
Yeah.
But it's been huge. All these and TikTok is the #1 app right now, above Instagram, above Facebook, everything.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like now they're saying that like
it's a cool app. I got it on my phone. They got my information.
I haven't used it.
China.
That
come on, man.
I know, right? That word right there.
Yeah, come on. I mean, that's the hot word, I guess, right now. And my son is part Chinese. Shari's part Chinese, so it's just over there. The communist man, they're running. We don't know what is going on. It's kind of crazy.
One thing I don't like is now there's a lot of what is it? Hate attacks. A lot of racism and stuff going on with Chinese Americans or even people living in China. You guys need to stop that because who cares? Whatever Trump calls it, a Chinese virus or a virus from China, that doesn't matter. I mean, these people have been here, so I've heard about how there's been brutal attacks or hate crimes against. Come on now.
Yeah, man.
Like we got way better stuff to worry about than we're past that. Like that's behind. That's behind. Don't make this a thing where now after 9/11, it was too bad that we started profiling people from that region.
Middle East,
from the Middle East. Yeah. And then now don't make this now where now it's going to be a China thing. Come on now.
Yeah,
it should not be like that.
We shouldn't do that.
No hate crimes, no hating on people because they're Chinese, saying your country brought it here, this and that. Everybody is their own individual and people like that.
Absolutely. So we love our Americans out there. If you're American,
Chinese
American, Latin American, Black American, White American. Yeah. You Greeks out there, Italians, all you guys, everybody in every race and nationality out there. If you're an American, man, you're an American. That's what it is. So we should all stick together. We got to get through this thing together, so let's stick together. All right, so what else we got? All right, Titan Medical Health and Lifestyle Show. This Sunday, it's going to be at 1:30 p.m. It's a special this Sunday because of Easter. So that those of you guys that celebrate Easter, Easter's a big holiday. So we want to wish you guys all a happy Easter right now. If you guys celebrate it, it sucks that maybe you can't get together with your family in person. Get on there with Skype, at least talk to them, share some time with them. Eat your dinners. That's what people have been doing. They've been putting their family member on FaceTime and eating dinner.
Yeah, you just put the iPad right on the table.
So
another great one too, guys, is an app called House Party. It's called House Party. You could download it. A lot of these people are doing
they got Zoom, they got all that.
It's called House Party, where you can get like 5 or 10 people together, and you can actually have a house party through the phone and music and all this different stuff going on. But I mean, there's different ways you guys can
celebrate. Yeah, man, absolutely. So celebrate.
There's gonna be a lot of new apps coming out. I feel like because everyone's home.
Sure, everybody's home.
Netflix,
so
everybody's loving
you guys are stuck to this. We are working on another immune system booster, Titan Immunity. And this thing is going to be a game changer if it does come out. So I don't want to talk too much about it because I haven't injected it yet. And I want to make sure it's good for you guys. But pharmacy says it's good to go. So at that point, I'm going to be happy to bring that bad boy out. I think it's going to be a game changer. And it should have some of the big components.
Anything like glutathione, like better or stronger or different?
More of a blend of different things.
They could take it with glutathione?
Zinc, glutathione, vitamin C. So I'm trying to make something that's like super immunity for you guys.
If you guys saw the video a couple weeks back where I was in the other room and he had all those bottles, he literally made his own thing because that's all the stuff that was in my bag.
Yeah,
and now he's making his own. This guy's like a little mad.
So the IVs are good, but the sterile injectables that come from the pharmacy. Pharmacists that make it. We work on the formulation, make sure everything's going to be safe for people, not too high of a dose, and going to work really good without having a little sting because some of the injections can sting. That's because of the pH levels and some of the stuff that goes in them. So at that point, we want to make sure it was right for you guys, and I think it is. So until I inject it, though, I can't get my stamp of approval on it. And obviously, some of our athletes and stuff like that will probably try it first.
Well, I'm a guinea pig. Let me know.
We're going to roll it out very shortly for you guys, and I think you guys are going to like it. Plus, what this will do is this will save you guys a lot of money. So at that point, if you wanted to get one of these things or two of these things, now it's going to have possibly 3 immune system boosters in it. The top immune system boosters, almost of our therapies, you guys will get all in one injection. So at that point, it will save you guys. You guys won't have to buy 1 instead of 3, all right? And you guys will have to do 1 injection instead of mixing the needle or taking 3 different injections.
So if you guys don't like injections, I mean, just one shot as
will
opposed
do it
to
all.
3 or even 4. So
absolutely.
Less scar tissue, less everything. So.
Absolutely. So it'll be really easy to do too as well. All right, so let's talk about TV. If you guys have been watching TV, I'm sure you guys have been watching. I see. What's the next Netflix series I should watch?
Everybody's talking about Ozark.
Okay, Ozark was pretty good.
Yeah. I haven't really got into. I always start it and then I just fall off, fall asleep. I haven't really.
Have you started
the first season? I think.
Okay, it gets good. It does get good. I watched all 3. Ozark was definitely a good one for sure. But today, how to fix a drug scandal. So. This was a really, really good and true documentary. And this talked about 2 lab chemists that did not know each other in the state of Massachusetts. And what these lab chemists did was basically, every drug offense that comes in, right? What happens is these drugs get sent off into a lab. And a chemist tests the purity of the drug and make sure it is the drug that was described by the arresting officer that they think it was. And then they verify these things, and then if they have to, they go in court and they testify that these drugs and the purity of these drugs and everything was set there. Now, these 2 are 2 different people. It was Sonia Farouk and
same. What time period was this? What years?
This one,
like what year did it take place?
So this happened from 2000. Sonia Farouk from 2004.
Okay, I was gone.
To 2012.
Okay.
All right.
Actually, no, 2004. No, I was still there.
All right. So they both got busted for basically putting on false information. Like basically they were saying this test was positive for this, and it really wasn't. All right. Now, 2 different scandals. First scandal was what was her first name? The Indian chick.
We have Annie Dukem.
Annie Dukem. So Annie Dukem was the first one that got busted. And what happened with her is that she was a first-generation American, basically. I'm just giving you a synopsis. I'm not going to go into full detail here. But basically, she was there, and she was an overachiever. So she was doing a lot of the work, and she was doing it at exuberant speeds. And basically, something happened where it drew a red flag. She was just too good. So when she, basically she gets busted, at that point, and you'll find out why she gets busted. But it was just it was really, really, really stupid offense. I mean, basically at that point, I don't want to tell you the ending, but it was really good, okay? The next one was Sonia Farouk. Sonia Farouk, really interesting character. So at this point, she was the first female in Rhode Island to play on a male football team. So really crazy. First girl ever. Well, that had to have been 2000, 99, Rhode Island. So, yeah, so Sonia Farouk. So basically what happened with her is she was a drug addict. And she was working in this lab, and in the lab, the way they test these drugs is they have samples, and these samples are 100% pure of the drug. So it's, it could be anything from amphetamines, methamphetamines, cocaine, ecstasy, like all this stuff. So at this point, what happens is that she, basically got busted because they were looking for samples and they found them in her drawer and they were open. And at that point, they went to go find her, and she was supposed to testify at court because she testifies in all these court cases, right? And at that point, what happens is they bust her there, and she has drugs in the car. So then they go back and they find out basically that, she tells them that she's been taking drugs out of the samples the whole time. First it started with methamphetamines, and it was amphetamines. She said she would get through her work quicker, right? So this is really messed up. So she was a drug addict, and that lab was a very small lab. Like there's only so many people in there. There was like 4 people, and they all went at different times. The other one that Dukin was at was a huge laboratory, and they did all kinds of different labs. So at that point, it was just 2 different cases, same state. It was virtually like a year apart of when they got busted, and then there was a big cover up. The reason that Dukin was doing what she was doing was she was basically dry labeling, dry weighing. That means that she wasn't really looking at the product. She would just look at it and say, "Hey, this was cocaine, 100%," and just got through her work basically. So I found out that basically she was emailing, prosecutors. Prosecutors were involved. What happened was basically.
You want to give it away?
I mean, no. This is what happened. So, if you ever get in a drug case, okay, so they're going to take the drugs from you, and then they're going to send to a lab. When they test these drugs, it's going to tell the court and everything, and the prosecutor. They don't wait. They wait till about that point to see. Hey, listen, was this really a drug? Because if it's not a drug, you can't get in trouble. You cannot get charged with a drug crime like that, right? So at that point, what happened was basically if you test it and it's pure, your ass is grass. They're going to call it, testify that you had these drugs and this was the percentage of it. Now, you can always say this. You can say, I want a retest of it, and they'll send it off for a secondary testing. No individual knows that until you either know the law or you've been through it. So at that point, like, I learned that through this series, but that's something that I asked another attorney, and he's like, yeah, that's absolutely correct. So, but a lot of people don't know that. And what happened with them is, what happened with you is if that chemist was found or anybody else was found to have any other motive in that case or tries to disturb that case, then basically your case will get thrown out and the charge is dismissed.
So she's automatic.
So she worked from 2004 to 2012. And most of the cases went to her pretty much, into her lab. So at that point, it was tens of thousands of people that got released. There was people that were waiting there for sentencing the day of to go into sentencing, knowing they were going to get years in prison. And at that point, their lawyer coming in and saying, you're going to get off today. And they're like, what do you mean? and literally, so these people got off. So all these defense attorneys, all these prosecutors some of them got in some big trouble too as well, because they were with the one chemist, and they were like, listen, we need this, ASAP. And she was basically like on their team. Now, chemists are supposed to be unbiased, excuse me. So at that point, like when they're testing, they're just testing. It doesn't matter. Like they don't care one way or another what happens in the case. Where she was writing these prosecutors and actually talking about the case. Really, Really crazy series. Check it out.
Yeah.
How to Fix a Drug Scandal, Massachusetts. That's
crazy,
where you're from, right?
Crazy state, yeah, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Crazy state. Crazy state.
Yeah, so, yeah, man. So I think that's about it for us on Titan Lifestyle today. I think we went a long time talking your ear off. I apologize if we did, but thank you guys for coming out and supporting us. We appreciate you guys. We hope you guys are all safe. Andrew?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, Sunday, 1:30, new time on Sunday, 1:30 Easter Sunday.
Yep.
ABC.
Yep.
It's going to be a good time. So I know a lot of people can't go to church now because churches are shut down.
Yep.
Last thing, if you guys try to go to church, I don't know if you guys heard about it. There was a church where basically the cops came in and gave everybody in the church a $500 ticket.
Yeah.
Every single body. So just think about that tomorrow. You guys are grown. You can do what you want to do. I know if you guys want to praise or worship, whatever. If you have to do it from your house, there's online churches.
Do it virtually today.
Yeah, just do it virtually or something if you have to. I mean, don't be in that crowded area.
Don't
and
risk
think that,
it.
you know, as long as you pray, you're going to be good and all this stuff. You can pray at home. You can
What-
do everything at home.
Now you bring that up, was pretty funny. So in Illinois, there was a mayor, and the mayor basically, the law there is like you're not supposed to be, out in any bars or anything like that. And staying at home. So basically, he gave this order, and he sent out his cops and to see if any businesses were still operating that were non-essential. And at that point, they busted a tavern that was open illegally. Right, and they busted, and the mayor's wife was at the bar. He had to write an apology letter for it. It was hilarious. Look it up, guys. It would definitely will give you it's ironic and it's hypocritical in a lot of ways. So, if some of these people aren't following it, then why should everybody else? That's kind of the method out there. Right
Yeah,
now,
because
the
the
mindset.
higher powers that are making all these rules, they're going to be affected too. Because they're
Yeah.
going to have to stay inside.
Yeah.
Because if not, the media is going to be on them. It's going to get out like this. So
Yeah.
it's like
Well,
after a while, they're going to be tired of being inside too.
They're gonna have to be, we'll
Live
see
your
how it
life.
goes, guys. Everybody wants to get this economy going. Everybody wants to get back to their old life. I know we do for sure. There's a lot of different things we're gonna be missing, and hopefully things don't change too much when we do reopen. Hopefully not. I see some crazy stuff going on. So we will see you guys. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys Sunday, Tuesday, and next Friday, 2 p.m. Titan Lifestyle with Big Drew.
That's it. Sign off. Titan Lifestyle. Be safe, everybody.
Bye, guys.
I'm tightened up. Y'all better tighten up.